Shalom. I want to begin by giving all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Hakodash. Double honors our beloved elders and apostles of great millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And shalom to all the Akim pushing this truth with sincerity. All right. It's your brother Atazwan from the GMS Columbus, Ohio branch, coming back again with another video through the Spirit. Lord willing, it is edifying. And pretty much it's going to be a quick hit, slight correction video. Just really a misspeaking concerning the different solutions, all right, men, concerning the day in the 11th chapter, in which I believe I was on the line, and I just accidentally referenced the account with Heliodorus, all right, how he was sent by Seleucus IV to collect taxes, all right, from the nation of Israel, all right, etc. And pretty much, really, just wanted to bring that out, all right, when you deal with 2 Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, all right, it is, in fact, all right, Seleucus IV Philopator. All right, and when you go to Daniel, the 11th chapter, all right, it speaks about, all right, let me see if I can find it. I think it's down. Yep, Daniel 11 and verses 20 says, "Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom. But within few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle." Right, and this is speaking of, ultimately the account in 2 Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, all right, concerning Seleucus IV Philopator, all right, and, how, pretty much, had put a decree out for Heliodorus to collect the riches in the temple, all right, based upon, who was it? Was it Jason? I got cut off, but I'm going to just splice these two videos together. Like I said, it's going to be a quick video. I just want to fact check myself through the Spirit. When you deal with Daniel 11, the 11th chapter, it's a lot of history, all right? A lot of accounts, a lot of things that took place, dealing with the Seleucus dynasty and the Ptolemaic dynasty. So sometimes, you tend to trip up on, the names, the different people, so on and so forth. But really, that's all I wanted to do. I'm going to just read this account real briefly, get some context, bring out some edification concerning it, and keep moving. But again, this Seleucus in 2 Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, is in fact Seleucus IV Philopator. Let's real quick read a quick overview on him. Seleucus IV Philopator. It's his meaning, Seleucus the father, ruler of the Hellenistic Seleucid Empire, reigning from 187 BC to 175 BC over a realm consisting of Syria, now including Cilicia and Judea, Mesopotamia and Babylonia, and near Iran, Media, and Persia. You see, he ruled over Judea as well. All right. And like I said, that's why, when he got that info concerning the riches of the temple, all right, he went and sent Heliodorus to collect tax, which ultimately, Heliodorus, wind up failing the mission and getting ass whooped by the angels. But real quick birth and family says he was the second son of successor of Antiochus III the Great and Laodice the third. He was made heir to his father after the death of his elder brother Antiochus the young king in 193 BC. Seleucus IV wed his sister Laodice IV, by whom he had 3 children, 2 sons, Demetrius first Soter, Antiochus, and a daughter, Laodice V. It says, during the prelude of the Roman Seleucus War, Seleucus was put in charge of reestablishing the colony Lysimachia by his father. Upon the outbreak of war, Seleucus commanded his own force, unsuccessfully besieging Pergamon and taking the city of Phocaea, before fighting in the Battle of Magnesia. All right. Alongside his father, after their defeat at Magnesia, Seleucus was made co-regent in 189 BC, and the Seleucids signed the Treaty of Apamea with Rome, In 188 BC, as part of the treaty, Seleucus oversaw the supply of grain and scouts to Roman and Pergamum forces during the campaign against the Galatians. All right, let me see if I can get some more information. Let's go to his death. It's on September 3rd, 175 BC. Seleucus was assassinated by Heliodorus, one of his leading bureaucrats. The ancient sources do not record a motive for this act. Possibly it was some simple lust for power, or possibly the sources misattributed the death to the one who gained the most from it. Heliodorus took over as regent, ruling on behalf of Seleucus IV's young child, Antiochus. Heliodorus' reign as regent was brief. However, months later, he was replaced by Antiochus IV with support of Pergamon. All right, so just a little overview on him. Now, real quick, I want to jump back to Daniel, the 11th chapter. And, like I said, make sure I'm bringing out the correct information. It's a lot of information. It's at Daniel 11 and 20. All right. It says, then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes. So, like, here, give me 1 second. See something. This is then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom, but within few days he shall be destroyed, right? Because he had a short reign. It was a period of a decade. It says, neither in anger nor in battle, right? Because he was assassinated, all right, by Heliodorus. All right, I believe that account. Is it First Maccabees 8? I think it's in this account. Let me see. May not be. But that's all right. We just read Second Maccabees, the 3rd chapter. Now, Judas, I heard the Romans. Valiant man. Honestly, it was just, I don't think it's Second Maccabees 8. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think it's that chapter. Oh, well, when I find it and bring it out, Aparatazah, on a later time. But let's just read this account real quick and hang it up. Second Maccabees 3, it says, now when the holy city was inhabited with all peace, and the laws were kept very well because of the good godliness of Onias the high priest and his hatred of wickedness, came to pass that even the kings themselves did honor the place and magnified the temple with their best gifts, insomuch that Seleucus of Asia, of his own revenues, bare all the costs belonging to the service of the sacrifices. Right, so he was helped fund, the sacrifices in Jerusalem. But one Simon of the tribe of Benjamin, who was made governor of the temple, right? Speaking of Simon, that's who I was, like I said, man, it's a lot of information. Ultimately, speaking of in the beginning of the first portion of the video, all right, concerning, this certain man, who had a lot of envy and strife in his heart, contention in his heart. All right, and he's going to go into it. where we at? But one Simon of the tribe of Benjamin, who was made governor of the temple, fell out with the high priest about disorder in the city. When he would not overcome Onias, he gat him to Apollonius, the son of Thraces, who then was governor of Syria or Syria in Phoenice, and told him that the treasury in Jerusalem was full of infinite sums of money. Right, so Simon, a Benjamite, all right, was butthurt, concerning the disorder in the city, etc. All right, and took to Apollonius, all right, one of the governors of Syria and Phoenice, and informed him about the treasury in Jerusalem, all right. And Jerusalem was full of infinite sums of money, so that the multitude of their riches, which did not pertain to the account of the sacrifices, was innumerable, and that it was possible to bring all into the king's hand. Now when Apollonius came to the king, he had showed him the money whereof he was told. The king chose out Heliodorus his treasurer, and sent him with a commandment to bring him the foresaid money. Right, so again, going to Daniel 11 and 20, that was that man who raised taxes. All right, you see. So forthwith Heliodorus took his journey under a color of visiting the cities of Seleucia and Phoenice, but indeed to fulfill the king's purpose. When he came to Jerusalem and had been courteous received of the high priest of the city, he told him what intelligence was given of the money, and declared wherefore he came, and asked if these things were so indeed. Then the high priest told him, which is so nice, and the high priest told him that was such money laid up for the relief of widows and fatherless children. Right, it was just a cushion, a defense, for they said widows and fatherless children wasn't like you. They were trying to finesse Seleucus, all this is sacrifice, money, so on and so forth. All right. It says, and that some of it belonged to Hyrcanus, son of Tobias, a man of great dignity, and not as that wicked Simon had misinformed, the sum whereof in all was 400 talents of silver and 200 of gold. Right, so that was the measurement, okay, the value of what was in the treasury. All right, so I'm gonna stop there through the spirit. Like I said, I just wanted to correct that information. Again, Salakia, just a misspeak, really. When you deal with Daniel 11 and these different solutions, and his dynasty and the Assyrian wars, etc. It's a lot of information. So that's it.